Connoisseurs. Vegas strong, son.
And we're back live from the 2021 Ride OBC Las Vegas edition with the Pedals Up podcast. My boy Tony Vegas, my man.
Danny's son.
Over here. We just want to talk to you guys and show you guys these two gentlemen from Chicago, Rudy and Joel Aceves.
What's up?
Okay, Aceves.
Chi-Town.
Chi-Town. They're either Chi-Town cruisers, all right? Correct?
Yes.
That's that right? I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
AKA the Chicago Brothers.
AKA the Chicago Brothers.
Yeah, man.
So you're out here. How you guys liking it?
I'm loving it.
Pretty
fucking I mean, besides the heat.
Hey, man.
It's hot.
It's hot. It is a little warm. It is a little warm. But this breeze today, this breeze is keeping it nice right now. So I'm liking it. So how do you guys like the event so far?
Pretty cool bikes, man.
Pretty cool bike.
Yeah,
do you feel like the level of the bike game has like stepped up from the previous OBC?
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot, right?
Yeah.
You know, these guys, like you said, a lot of the people here in the bike community, we've always mentioned, at some point in time, we mentioned the Chicago Brothers. These two are the gentlemen that a lot of the guys got a lot of inspiration on their bikes because of the engraving and all this kind of stuff. Like they like came out of nowhere in the whirlwind with their bikes. I believe it was 2018.
First year, yeah.
2018. But they brought out 3 bikes.
They brought 3 bikes.
Badass, like I'm talking about everything done up, attention to detail, the paint, the engraving, just everything on those bikes done right, man. I think everybody was impressed, and not only that, man. They rode them.
They rode them.
I remember checking them out at the Bellagio Fountain. That's when I really checked them out, and I was like, wow, these dudes were riding these bikes.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
You know the best part about it? We rode them and we carried them.
And we carried them. Yeah. It's exactly what I say. What are you? You got
I got a flat.
You got a flat. He got a flat. And then I saw him. He just carried the bike back. But it is what it is because. When we get those flats on these expensive-ass bikes, we do not want to roll them. Nope. We don't want to mess up the rims because they pay attention to detail. The detail on their bicycles are very, very critical. You guys have like a whole plethora of bikes at your houses now, too.
Quite a few.
I know. I've seen we keep joking around this cabinet that they have, which is all bike parts. Like Danny and I, we're talking about going to Chicago. Hopefully next month.
We're going.
We're going. There you hear. We are going to Chicago next month, and we are looking forward to seeing their bike collection. And we're going to do a what's in your garage edition from Chicago. So it's going to be really cool. I know you guys have some heat. What else do you guys got in your house?
Everything with wheels.
Everything with wheels.
It starts with a Hot Wheel. We go to RC cars. From there we go to bikes, skateboards. Scooters, BMX. You name it, BMX. So
but you guys have a good eye for this stuff, like
yes.
Really, when it comes to the details, like just placement of things.
Yeah.
Like when you guys were like looking to say at my bike, you guys it's not hating. When you guys are looking at other people, you guys are just very like you have the eye for that.
That's how we like our shit being done, like. We ain't happy until we get it done the way we want it.
Yeah.
That's how we feel. I mean,
exactly.
Even though later on we're like, fuck, I spend that much money on that, but that's what you want, and
that's what you want. The outcome at the end is always good when people. What's up, buddy? What's up, Java? The outcome at the end is always good. It's like I like building my bikes the way I build them. This rat rod build that I just finished doing, I had so much fun building it because before it's like I'm a graphic designer, so my attributes to build a bike is backwards. Like I already see the finished product, and I build it such. But this rat rod it's been really cool with me, and I've been really happy with it. And I paid attention to details because all 4 of us have had conversations with one another, and we always talk about details. We always joke around the chains. Hey, I'm letting y'all know, these guys will pay attention to your chain. They will pay attention to your chain. Everything, and say, your chain is on backwards. Okay?
It's put on backwards.
It's put on backwards. Your tire is put on backwards. Your nuts and bolts
No, your nuts ain't put up backwards.
Your nuts and bolts are not shiny, but they pay attention to all details. They're all details. And that's what it's all about. When you want to step into these levels of there's levels to all this bike life stuff. You start off the beginning with your Huffies and those beginning starter bikes from there, and then you start managing yourself up, and then you start hitting to a plateau of the big boy games. These guys are in that plateau right now. These guys are in that plateau, and just like other builders out there that are in there, and we love seeing that. There's levels to this game, and you gotta go. What's up, man? Thank you for that. Thank you.
And it's funny because since they've gotten here and I've been talking to them, like the parts, like he's been naming off parts, like this part is this part and this part. That's why I'm like, I want to see how many fucking parts and stuff he has in the collection. Because I'm like, hey, yo, he knows his stuff, man. Like all this stuff he's been talking about. I'm like, yeah.
I tried buying your wheels and you didn't let go, so you know what you have.
That's why I'm saying
he won't let him go. He won't let him go. After he saw Warren's, he's like, I'm definitely not letting him go.
No, we're riding. Then I go, hey, you want to sell it?
He has an eye for that stuff, man.
Yeah,
a lot of people might not look at it that way, but he'll find it. He'll see it. And I'm like, yeah, like that's details, man. That's details. All that stuff makes a difference. And especially right now, like how hard it is to find stuff and like people price gouging, like everything right now is crazy right now with everything. But having like that kind of stuff is like a little treasure box, man. That's good stuff.
Is there a particular bike that's standing out for you right now? And like if I tell you what was your top 3 bikes that's clicking to you, what would they be?
You can name one. The first one out there, it's the Cyclist, the blue one.
Oh, the blue one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of detail.
Yeah.
It's a lot of detail.
He's got good detail in it.
He's got good detail on it.
Good thought.
And we've had conversations with them, and those conversations are true. That he said is like, you know what? I asked him who inspires you, and man, the guys that inspire me are the Chicago brothers with their bikes. I was like, I really watched what they did, and it's like they were my inspiration on it, and then they came out with that. So when they debuted it, because I took Oscar's bike or that bike to the house, and we were at the house, and then it was just us 3 chopping it up, and then we talked about that. And that conversation is true, that you do inspire a lot of people in the bike community with like a lot of the engraving. Because you guys came out like a whirlwind, man.
Yeah, it's good to know.
It's good, whirlwind. I really hope. I can't wait to see what you guys are bringing next year. Can't wait.
We don't know about next year, but we're building something new though.
We have something in our pocket.
And what would be your second one right now?
I really like Billy's bike.
Oh, dude, Billy.
Yeah, Billy's bike is bad.
And we don't even know him, okay? So
we don't even know
him. We don't know him.
He's a güero, I'm Mexicano. Nothing alike, eh?
We need to get that clear. We don't know the dude, okay?
But
but Billy's bike came out.
It's clean, it doesn't have that much, but it's a nice bike,
Enough.
It's a clean bike.
Enough to set.
Enough to set.
Yeah.
And for your third one, what else?
Me?
You pick.
Oh, okay. I ain't a bike. You ain't gonna pedal me. Third one. Third one.
Right off the top.
Right off the top. Well, Frank's stands out. The other one, what is it? Paul Tojino, his Hurricane.
Oh.
I think it's a good-looking bike.
Oh yeah.
There's a few out there, but 2 top choices for me are Cyclist, Oscar's bike, and Billy's.
And
for
Billy's?
Me. Yeah.
Nice.
2 top. After that, there's a few out there. They've been out there for longer, so everybody has seen them. I mean, Pedro's bike is good looking. The green one, it has the concept, but it needs a little more thought into it. But it's looking good. It's looking good.
Hey, man, and when you get constructive, I'm going to let you guys know right here, right now. If you guys get a little constructive criticism from these guys, they know what they're talking about.
Yes.
They know exactly what they're talking about in order to make your bike to go to another level. Not saying like they're like the ultimate dudes, but if you ever hear them giving you a constructive criticism, it is never a disrespect. It's just like, they've been around it a lot, and they know. And then when you see their quality bikes, you'll understand.
Yeah.
So it's never a disrespect on anything. They've told me things about my bikes, and then I take it into my consideration, and then I adjust accordingly. Because that's just how it is.
Another cool bike that we're missing this year a real badass bike. It's the Hard Times from Gary Winston in Canada.
Oh,
He couldn't make it because the border's closed, but his bike is
Hey, right now,
badass bike.
On the count of 3, Gary me la pela. 1, 2, 3.
Gary
Me la pelas.
But his bike, I mean, that bike has detail.
Yes.
Bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't have chrome, but
it has
that bike
detail.
has detail, man.
If you
Detail
guys
on
look,
it.
if you guys go on not Facebook, on YouTube, and look up Gary Winston.
Winston.
I call him Winston, but it's Weston. Okay, look it up, and you guys gonna see his whole production of how he built that bike. It is by far a really sick bike, and somebody that like really paid attention to detail and recorded everything.
Yeah.
You guys would really enjoy that video
Like
when you guys look
one-off
at it.
parts, he
Yes.
made them. I mean,
He's from Canada, from
He's-
one of the Chapaderos.
but man,
it's
that
it's a
bike
dope
is
one.
badass.
It is a
I mean,
badass bike.
You know, we are all in the, bike world, bike life. Let's not take anything like, like we're criticizing your bike as hating. Always take it as like we're criticizing as like some kind of advice to where it's inspiration. Like, oh, I see that he's got this. Don't take it as like, oh, we're copying. It's more about let's try to do something, improve it, bring it up. Let's get this bike world up. I know it's, it gets expensive and everything, but at the end of the day, it pays off. So it's not hating, it's advice. It's advice. Nitpicking, it's pointing out things. It's just like, okay, he missed a nut here. He missed to powder that, Okay, that's not going to get you to where you ain't going to win the show. But, hey, when people do know about bikes and look at them, they're like, oh, this guy paid attention to this, paid attention to that. So at the end of the day, it's like, cool, it's well done. You know what you're doing. And if you have a question, just go to anybody. Tony, Danny, us, anybody behind us. They'll tell you their knowledge, what they know, even what they don't know, or they'll point you out to builders,
someone that
to builders.
Definitely.
And, we'll all enjoy it. We'll all enjoy it. And,
I
hey.
mean, four eyes are better than two, right? Somebody else sees it. No pun intended.
In this case, it's 4, 8, and 6, 10 eyes.
But if you let everybody, if I see something wrong, hey man, if you got a booger, I'm gonna tell you, hey man, you got a booger. I mean, I'm just letting you know, I'm that guy. But you learn a lot, and then from seeing things, coming to these types of shows, all these types of big shows. Pay attention to the details. Hey, start off from the bottom brackets. Look at their whole tranny, how they had it all. Look at all their nuts and bolts, their fork legs, their pedals, the nuts on the pedals, all that type of stuff. The caps, all those little tiny details. The dropouts on bikes, all their nuts and bolts, how they line it up, all the cables, where they go into the cables,
Clearances,
all that comes into play. Like we said, it's never a bad criticism. It's just, hey man, we just saw it, and we're just seeing it. And if you want to change it, change it. That's entirely up to. So look, Gary's in the chat. So it's but yeah, a lot of guys we actually we listen to. When I build a bike, and I'm speaking of myself, I don't build it for the trophies. I build it so like these guys can actually look at it.
Just to be clear, that we're live and Gary's on the show.
On the chat room.
When he was building that bike, we agreed that he was gonna sell it to me for $800.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So-
you heard it here, Gary.
But
I'm still waiting for it.
no, but there's always that second bidder where I'll give you $850, So it's like, okay. But
I give you $852. I win.
I got 900 right now.
But it's Gary. He's a big inspiration to us. We've been in the bike scene for a long time. It's not about customs. We started off with BMX, dynos, going back to where we were kids. We're trying to put our lowrider together. We don't have money. I mean, even if you have an allowance, what you're going to do with an allowance? So we go back finding duct tape, bundle. Hey, the thing is putting it together and, having your brain set to what you want. But other than that, in the custom cruisers, Gary, big help. called them up 4 or 5 times a day. Hey, we need help with this. We need help with that. So it's not just like, oh, now Chi-Town Brothers, they know what they're doing. Oh, it's all them. No. Gary is a big inspiration, a big help in
That's how we started with this when we saw his bikes.
Yeah.
When we saw his bikes, a week later I already had a frame. And then started calling him and
mine was the nerve.
Yeah.
The nerve that he built, because I feel like his nerve was like one of the main or the top nerves that I've seen ever. That's at that time. That brown, that's his wife's bike.
Yeah.
I think it still is, no?
It's still sick. It's still.
I mean, it's set same thing, another level into the nerves, and it's been up there, and it's going to stay up there. I mean, a lot of nice nerves are going to come out. But that one's always going to be at the top.
Because
I mean, it's
like the first one that everyone liked.
Yeah, so everybody else's nerve is going to look awesome. It's going to look beautiful. But it's always going to be like Gary's nerve. You know, it's going to be there. You know.
But it's a hot one. I mean, you got like West Coastin is doing them also like that. You know, getting into the swerves.
True.
The swerves. He calls them the swerves with HB. But
Assumption, right?
Sorry, yeah.
West.
But dude, that vibe for that bike is really sick. I had one, and that's one. A nerve is one of the ones that I regret letting go. To be honest with you.
Like when I first started finding out about custom bikes, I Googled custom bikes, and that was one of the first ones that popped up.
Yes.
And then I remember seeing it here at the OBC.
Yes.
And I was like, holy shit, that's that same bike that, you know, that I thought it was famous. Like, you know what I didn't know, because I'm like, it's on the internet, it must be famous, you know?
And then we got to know, and it was like, oh, now everything clicks together. Because 2 years ago, we were just like everybody else coming in and enjoying the show and stuff like that. But now that, like, you know, we started doing the whole pedals up thing, we started getting to know a lot more people and getting, you know, just talking to them. So it's been a great ride, you know, knowing all these people and seeing all their bikes that they do.
Yes.
You know. So like I just want to say thank you guys very much.
You.
I'm so happy to see you guys here at the show. We're going to come back. I think they're going to be doing the
ceremony
and the awards.
Right now, yep.
And what was that? So we're going to try to get Jimmy Peak after 3 o'clock, give or take, around there. So stay tuned. And like we always say over here, hey, before we leave, Pedals Up Podcast. OBC 2021 Las Vegas. And if you ain't get a bike, stop being lazy in your goddamn life. And if you want a cool ass bike and you think you're doing it right and then you're not doing it right, these guys are going to tell you, hey.
No, we're going to have to criticize you.
And we out.
We out.
Peace.